Hello, I'm Julie. Today I'm going to do a tag or game called On My Shelf. So the point of this game is to bring books that I haven't talked about or that don't really get much spotlight into the spotlight, and to tell the story of that book on my shelf, because every book has a story. The way this is done is by coordinates. I have given each shelf behind me a number, and I asked my Arandanaut friends on Twitter for numbers. The first one between 1 and 8, because that is how many shelves I have, and the second one between 1 and 30, because that's approximately the number of books on each shelf. So I'm going to go through this list of coordinates and tell you the story of each book it lands on. The first coordinate from Laura is 527. That shelf didn't have enough books on it, so I just took the last one, and it was this one. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated edition. I got this for Christmas the year it came out from my sister and her boyfriend, and it was such a good Christmas present. I love it. It's so nice. And for those of you wondering, yes, the illustrations are amazing. So since this is such a pretty book, it has the pride of place at the end of that shelf. The next coordinate is from Catherine. It is 420. Of course, someone had to give me that number. That book is Curses and Conspiracies by Gail Carriger. This is the second book in the Finishing School series. I don't quite remember how I found these books, but I think I just read the synopsis and thought, this is for me. I bought this here in Trondheim at Outland. It's steampunk and just the perfect escapist read for me. This book is about all the shenanigans that happen when you go to a finishing school that educates spies. The next coordinate is from Rebby, and it's 7 and 17. This book is the nation's favourite poems. I bought it when I decided to get into poetry, and it's just a collection of the poems voted to be the best ones in Britain. This was a great way to discover what kinds of poems I liked and what poets I would like. This book got me into Robert Frost, which is great. The next coordinate is from Mickey. It is 130. There weren't enough books on that shelf either, so I just took the last one. And it's this book, A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I recently bought this for myself after having read it from the library and loved it. It's so great, and I'm so happy that it's now on my shelf and I can look at it and read it whenever I please. As I've said before, Becky Chambers does with sci-fi what I wish everyone did with sci-fi. Putting people in situations they wouldn't normally be in and just seeing how they react and how everything plays out. That's so great in this book and her other one, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. The next coordinates are from Samina. They are 7 and 21. That book is Death of a Naturalist by Seamus Heaney. I bought this in Foyles in London last summer. I also read it last summer and liked it a lot. This is a poetry collection, and as you've probably guessed by now, shelf number 7 is my poetry shelf. The poems in this collection deal mostly with nature, which is something I enjoy reading poems about. The next coordinates are from Nick. They are 6 and 19. Shelf number 6 is my to be read shelf, and this one is still on it. I thought I would read this summer, but I didn't. This is The Big Over Easy by Jasper Fforde. I actually bought it at a library sale earlier this year. I think I like this book. I've read lots of Jasper Fforde before and loved all of it. The next coordinate is from JT, and it is 7 and 3. That book is Puteboken, or The Pillow Book in English. It's a collection of Japanese love poems. It's not all by the same author, it's just a collection. And they've been translated by Hanne Bramnes. I bought this second hand in a charity shop here in Trondheim a few years ago. I still haven't read much of it at all. The last coordinate comes from Elise, and it's 8 and 9. That book is actually my Wreck This journal. It's not completely filled out by any means. I did collect quite a lot of stickers. It's not really much in use anymore. Maybe it should be. So now you know a little bit more about some of the books on my shelves. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Ha there!